Hey everyone, Dice76 here, back with another video guide. This time taking a quick look at the guilds. Starting here within the guilds, you're going to go to the same tab whenever you are looking to join a guild, and it's going to come up with a screen a little bit different than this, typically with about 3 pages of different guild names that you can click to join, many of which will have level requirements on them, as well, some being that you have to apply and others being open join. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking to find a guild. I personally recommend trying to find a guild that you can get into with the highest guild level on the list, as well as the most active members. That will definitely help, as you do want a guild that's active, and guild level plays into account in many different facets, as we'll take a look at here in a second. Another thing about joining a guild, you do want to find a guild with members in it that are much more powerful than you, as when you are renting out their monsters, as we'll see in this tab in a second, you'll want their monsters to be more powerful so that they can help you farm attribute stones in the game. So, starting right off, when you do join a guild, the first thing you're going to want to do, and the first thing that is expected of you to do, is to donate. You're going to want to at least donate twice of the gold or of one of the diamond groups. Everyone generally does 2 times a day of the gold. That will give 10 points each of guild contribution. The diamonds will give 100, and then the 500 diamonds will give 500 gold, and you can contribute 2 times a day. And that's really necessary. As you can see, even from my guild, everyone in the guild donates twice a day, just to keep the guild healthy and get points built up so that other items in the guild can be leveled and used for your own advantage. Second thing we'll take a look at here is the guild store. This is where you can use your own guild contribution points to purchase different items in the game. Most of the time you're not going to be spending your guild contribution points here, but if you choose to do so, there are a few options in this store listed here. Where you most likely will be spending your guild contribution points is in the guild tech area. In the guild tech area, there are a lot of different attributes and everything that will be passively added to your monsters in battle. This is everywhere in the game, so this is really important to focus on. They have HP, your power attack, the physical attack, and then your special attack, as well as your physical defense, your special defense, and your speed. Going into a guild, the guild, as it levels up, can spend the guild contribution points. This is done by the guild leader to level up each of these, or at least increase the maximum level of which you personally can level them up. So in this guild, the guild leader has leveled up each of them to level 13, except for the speed one, which is at a level 14. Now I've used my own personal contribution points to be able to get my level up within those categories, to 3s across the board, to 1, and then 6, because I'm currently focusing pretty heavily on speed, and need to continually to level that up. To get to a level 7, it'll cost me more and more personal contribution points, which you kind of accumulate on a daily basis, but you can get more of by donating and participating. Next thing from the guild tech side is taking a look at the rent side. This is something you should always have 2 monsters in the renting area. As well, they should really be your most powerful 2 monsters. When you do rent monsters, they're not unavailable for you to use. It has no impact on your availability to use them anywhere else inside the game. All that it means is that they are there for other players to use as well in your guild. So checking here, these are all the different monsters that are currently available for loan in our guild, and I'll show you the map in which they're available, as they're not available in all maps rather than just one. So we'll go take a look at that here in a second, but just again, keep 2 monsters in here. You can pull them out every 30 plus minutes. I usually keep them in for a few days. I'll let them collect tons of gold. I'll rejoin them and I'll immediately put those same 2 back in. I also recommend, if you keep leveling up your most powerful monsters, to pull them back out and to put them back in. As for example, if this was in here a few days and I had leveled them up to say level 60, it wouldn't reflect in here until I reload him back in. So just keep that in mind if you want to help out your guild buddies as well as earn more gold. Always be refreshing them and also getting that gold out and putting it into your bank. So taking a look at where we can use those rented monsters, we're going to go right to trial at the top, and you're going to scroll over to the Monster League. So you're going to click start there. And how this currently works to use your guild members' monsters, you can use one of them per every pass or every reset time. So essentially one of them per day you can rent. So click on here, go and you can select your own team. But what you should do is go to Mercenary over on the bottom corner, click that, and it's going to show all of the different monsters in your guild that you can use. So, right now it says can't fight, can't fight, can't fight. Why it says that is I currently have a Charizard on the screen. All I do is click to remove him from my team, and all of them are available. So I would choose one of these monsters that I feel would most help me to get through the Monster League. Typically I use this guy right here because the person in the guild that owns him has done a really good job leveling him and getting his attributes up, and he is an absolute monster in the fights. So I would select him. I'd go back to my screen. I can't select 2. You can only hire 1. I'd go back to my screen, select 2 others. Always make sure you have your medal up here, and then you would click to enter the fight. As you know, you can heal that guy based upon your recovery center and everything like that. It does cost gold to use him. It's a one-time paid thing per rental. Typically gold costs are always reasonably priced. I have never ever thought of it being a ripoff in any way. Generally it costs me around 30,000 gold. I mean, I usually have a couple million saved up, so really cheap. 30,000 gold for me. As you get higher level, it'll cost more. Typically I think it starts off around 5,000 when you're really low level based upon the monsters that you're renting, but will go up based upon what you're renting. So back to the guild. That's what you can use the guild rental for. Nothing else in the game at this time. Next part of the guild is the guild mission, which is currently locked and unavailable in the game. Hopefully soon to come. Guild boss is the next to last thing about the guilds. These are just different bosses that the guild leader can summon. Once they're summoned, it'll say fight down here instead of check. All you'll do is click fight on them, and you'll be able to go at them just like any other boss in the game. The cumulative damage is what your guild does. Even if you only were to hit it once or contribute in any way whatsoever, you are part of the overall pool. So if you were to do 1 damage to it and the rest of your guild were to finish it off, all of these would be sent to your inbox. That's 60 plus 90 plus 120, and it goes up. This is not the total right here. This is each that you'll receive in your inbox. You can look at ranking on how, who contributed and how much damage they did overall based upon what other guilds completed it and what time. So that's my guild right here is the one that I am in is Hell. And then the details, just a quick details about those bosses. And as the higher level your guild reaches, the higher level your bosses are that you can summon, or specifically the guild leader can summon using the overall guild contribution. And then lastly is the guild war, which essentially is an all-out battle between your guild and a bunch of other guilds at one point of a day of the week, and that's on this game or this server. It's on Saturdays at 7 p.m. That's Philippines time, which for me is pretty much Saturdays at 5 a.m. I'm on Central Time Zone in the United States. So GMT plus 8, I believe, is the overall time. So you'll just enter the raids there. You'll pick an area you want to compete in, and your guild, based upon how you compete, will rank up there. If you control one of the areas, the guild leader, you all will get, receive rewards, as well as the guild leader will be able to allocate out some rewards. And I'll show you where that occurs. They will allocate it, and you'll be able to view the rewards right here that the guild leader has chosen to allocate out based upon the manners that you all have conquered. Now lastly, here with the guild, I'm sure some of you have questions about owning a guild. It does cost 500 diamonds to create a guild. You'll select a unique name as well as an icon that is already in the game. You cannot upload your own or anything like that. Your guild will start at level 1, and you'll continue to level them up. The guild contribution can only be used for the facets to help your guild out. So like guild tech, leveling up the abilities for your guild to utilize them, as well as summoning bosses. It's not like the guild leader can put any of those points into their own pocket, or spend them in the guild store for circumstance. No, it's all the guild's points. Only the personal contribution points, even for the guild leader, they can spend for individual purposes. As well with the guild leader, like I said, they can allocate some of the stuff. They can summon the bosses. So there is definitely some perks there. And they can also promote different members to higher levels in the guild, as well as pasting a pretty short notice here. I know a lot of guilds do have a Facebook page just so they can communicate better, as the game's communication really sucks, as many of you have noticed. The only form of communication you can really use right now is on the bottom of the screen over here by clicking guild. There's not even any spaces in between it. People don't really use it just because of how clunky it is. So just keep that in mind. If you're wanting a more active guild, look for one with maybe an active Facebook or some other chat engine to use. Lastly, we're just going to take a look at the guild log. That just shows you what everyone's donated, like mentioned. Your manage. You can take a look at all the members in your guild, their power when they're last on. You can check their monsters. Take a look at each of their monsters, as well as adding them as a friend. Might be something you want to do in the guild, and where their rankings are and things like that. Then in other guilds, you can kind of look at your competition, seeing what ones are ahead of your guild or below your guild, just for an overall kind of idea of what's out there. But that's pretty much everything about the guild. There's really not much more than that in the game at this time regarding guilds. So hopefully that answered all of your all's questions coming into this guide. If not, please comment below, and we'll be very quick to get an answer out to you. But thanks for watching the video. If you did find this helpful, please upvote, and also take a look at my other guides, as I believe they might also be of some benefit.